Happy Saturday, everybody, and a happy Labor Day weekend. Trey Reid with Arkansas Game and Fish is here as he is every Saturday. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. It's a 3-day weekend.
Let's do it. I know we're excited. College football is back, but we're also very excited too because as we get a little bit closer to hunting season 2, we got to talk about some amazing opportunities, some amazing grants that are really helping out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's back to school time too. I mean, you know, kids have been back a couple, 3 weeks now, depending on where you go. But it's a time every year where we open up applications for conservation education grants.
Yes.
And you got until October 25th, but the portal recently opened within the last week or so I wanted to remind folks about these opportunities. Hayden, you hit the nail on the head. They are fantastic opportunities. We talk about this each year, but for those that haven't heard my pitch before, so, you know, when there is a game and fish law, it's broken, and a game warden writes a ticket, that money, it really never leaves the county in which the fine was assessed.
That's really important to know, too. That money stays local.
Right. First off, there has to be, you know, a conviction or an adjudication in court, you know, but if there is a conviction and there's a fine assessed, it goes into this pot of money, and it is distributed by the Arkansas Department of Rural Services, Division of Rural Services.
Okay.
And they administer the grant for us at Game and Fish, but it's all Game and Fish really programming that you can apply for, one of these grants. And we're talking about things like, everybody knows about our youth shooting sports program, our archery in the schools. I mean, we have thousands, over 10,000 kids in the archery program, like 5,500 in the trap shooting program. Those are the ones that get a lot of the attention, but you can also do things like use this grant to apply for funds to, you know, take a field trip to a nature center or a wildlife management area or fish hatchery, like a WMA to, you know, see like ecology at work, how conservation is like actually put on the ground, and learn about ecosystems and things like that. Schoolyard habitat projects, pollinator gardens, butterfly gardens, equipment and supplies, like if you've got a wildlife biology like section in biology. I mean, you can get things like, you know, go out, you want to say you want to do a study on a stream or body of water in your area and like use that as part of your science curriculum.
That's what kids are going to remember.
Exactly.
I mean, they can see in the book
so much hands-on stuff.
Awesome.
And these conservation grants really go a long way into like implementing some of that hands-on stuff that the schools may not budget for, you know, on an annual basis.
Well, and to be able to hand that down too, that's what it's about. It's so important to be able to hand it down to that next generation where they can remember when they're kids, because of these grants, I got to do this as a kid, and it inspired me to maybe go into the field.
Well, yeah, and the other thing it does, Hayden, is that like learning about conservation and natural ecosystems and what's going on out there in the wild places in Arkansas. You know, maybe that kid becomes a hunter and angler one day, or maybe they just, you know, have a better understanding of, you know, what it takes to take care of our natural state and keep it that way.
Value it, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, I want to talk about some value too. So we have to brag on Arkansas hunters, especially. So the fiscal year just kind of came to a close and everything. We have to brag on our hunters.
Yeah,
being
man.
Extremely safe, doing a great job this past year. Again, we want to talk numbers, but let's keep that safety trend going.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, our fiscal year ends June 30th. And so recently we just compiled our annual hunting incident or accident report, which we do every year. Great news, Hayden, not a single fatality related to hunting accidents last year. Yeah, so kudos to our hunters. You know, hunter education became mandatory in the 80s for anybody born after 1968, and really kind of hit me. Like I was like becoming, you know, that age, 13, 14, when I was hunting on my own. And so, you know, I took some of the earlier hunter ed classes, and I think, you know, as we go through time, you're seeing the results of that. And also things like this, talking about it. But yeah, 0 fatalities. And here's the other kicker, Hayden. Only 2 firearms-related hunting accidents reported last year.
Wow.
So our hunter ed coordinator, Joe Huggins, has been in that position for decades. And he said this is the fewest number of firearms-related accidents that he has ever seen in his career. So yeah, it is great. You know, one thing about it, we did bump up a little bit, a slight increase in overall hunting accidents last year from 16 to 19. But again, no fatalities, only 2 firearms. One bit of bad news, Hayden, is that still a lot of falls from tree stands.
I know we've discussed this too, as deer season's getting closer and closer. I know we talked about it. You got to be safe when you get into those stands.
Yeah, man. So 14 out of our 19 accidents last year were falls from hunting stands.
Gotcha.
So good, no fatalities, but and in every one of those 14 cases, a safety harness was not in use.
Okay.
I mean, that would have,
There
it's
you
just
go.
like a life jacket out on the water or a seatbelt in your car. It's going to keep you from getting injured
It's
if
so
you
important.
use it. You know, you mentioned too, so these accidents are only during hunting season, right?
Okay.
And if it requires a hospital visit. So that's kind of the threshold for reporting. It doesn't count like, you know, folks are going out right now to plant food plots, cut shooting lanes around their stands, work on their stands, moving stands, you know, getting up in them, cleaning them out. It's like, man, wood deteriorates, you know,
Sure.
it rots. Even welds on metal platforms and stands, they eventually give out when they're out there in the weather. So, you know, just a reminder as you're going out, even before hunting season starts. Of course, we got the velvet buck season next weekend, so
How
people will
crazy
be
is
out
that?
in stands.
Sure.
But, you know, whatever you're doing out there, just be careful. Check those stands before you climb up in them. Make sure they're safe, and just use your best judgment and caution.
September's the
out there.
time to do it too. It's getting a little bit cooler. Get your pre-work done, and then of course when deer season rolls around
Absolutely,
and everybody's out there, you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Happy Labor Day weekend.
Thank you, man. Happy Labor Day weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Remember, all this great information on agfc.com as well as thhv11.com. Stay safe, folks. Enjoy the holiday. We'll see you next Saturday.